This is the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. What you are about to hear is just the opinions of Matthew and Erik, who are the hosts. This podcast will talk about life, love, politics, religion, and whatever else runs around their heads in the moment. Their opinions are just that, opinions, and only their opinions. It does not represent anyone else but them at that moment in time. Not their significant others, family, friends, employers, companies, or anyone else that they might know. You are probably going to hear cuss words. The hosts cuss and really don't care if any guests cuss too. If you are offended by something, this probably isn't the podcast for you. But if you like what you hear, please keep listening.
Hey Erik, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you, Matthew?
I'm good. So what is this? OAF 2?
I think so.
Number 2. The hell are we doing?
I have no idea.
So what's pissing us off this week? What in the news? Cheetolini? Cheetolini's always there. The fucking fat orange Joffrey from fucking Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
That so fits. So what did he do today in the military? Let's see. Almost start World War III. Probably pretty close to there. Let's see. He launched 59 missiles into Syria. And listen to this bullshit. Now, I know something about ships and military and stuff. More about ships and stuff. But anyways. So, you bomb some targets in Syria. You hit some old planes and some fucked up bunkers that ain't really worth a shit. But you don't hit the fuel. And you don't hit the goddamn runway. Do you know why you hit the runway, Erik?
Why?
So they have to spend the money and time to fix it. Even if they fix it, they still spent the money and time to fix it. So, Syria's kicking off. We're sending more people over there. But then you got to be his fucking twin brother from Korea. And his brother from another mother. That fucking lunatic. Fucking Kim Jong-un or... yeah, it's Un, right? The son... the fucked up hair.
I think so.
It's like, he really kind of fucking reminds me of a Korean Cartman.
Yeah, I think
Doesn't he
that's
really?
accurate. Yeah.
It really reminds me of a Korean Cartman. So this fucking fat bastard, well, every time we get a new fucking president, they do something to fucking test him. China does, or Korea does, North Korea does, or Russia. So, since Cheetolini's on Putin's dick, I don't really expect much from him. But fucking North Korea decided to launch a couple of fucking missiles. And they splashed into the fucking Sea of Japan. Now, I'm of two minds. I don't know if they did it on purpose or if they actually just suck. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they could have been programmed to splash in to look like they malfunctioned. That's entirely possible to do. To program it to malfunction. Absolutely, that's possible to do. So, to have them splash into the water, outside of the territorial waters of Japan. So, but of course, we've got this mutual defense pact with Japan. We defeat them in World War II, but hey, you have a self-defense force, but it's okay, we will help you. So, and as a matter of fact, the base that I was on, Yokosuka, has got the aircraft carrier. I don't know if it's the same one or not, because I've been gone from there like 6 years now, almost 7. So I don't even know if it's the same aircraft carrier. But anyways, so we got these 4 deployed bases in Japan, so just in case some bullshit like this fucking happens, that we've got Navy units there. Basically how it goes is this. You control the sea, you can control the sky, and if you control the sea and the sky, you can control the land. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically that's the whole point of having a Navy there, and especially in aircraft carriers, because, you don't think an aircraft carrier is out there alone, do you? Oh, no. No. There's probably a fast attack submarine that's going to kill other submarines or other surface ships. And then there's the surface ships that's with her, cruisers and some destroyers and that kind of stuff, take care of any surface threats. And they're the ones who like ripple tomahawks and all that kind of shit too, as well as some fuel and logistics ships. So you got to keep everybody fuel and fed. So fed, it's a weird word, fed. So, but Korea to Japan is nothing as far as bases go. So that's just a 2-day trip or something. So, but yeah. So the problem with North Korea is that if we do something, is that Seoul is only a few yards. It's only like 100 miles away. I don't even think it's that far. So, you don't think that fucking buttercup? You don't think he would launch some fucking missiles into Seoul? In a New York minute, he would. And the reason what made Korea so fucked up to begin with was the intervention of China. So, yeah.
I think you mean China.
Yeah. China. But anyway, so there was like this battle of the Chosin Reservoir, and this one's really famous because it was like really cold, and they got surrounded by Chinese units, and then the general asked if he was going to retreat, and he said, "We're not retreating. We're turning around and fighting the other direction." Leave it to a Marine to say some bullshit like that. So
yeah.
But yeah, so that's the bullshit that's going on with fucking China right now, man. And when he launched these missiles into Syria, when Cheetolini did, his approval rating went up. Leave it to the fucking lowbrow voters out there, the low information, inbred fucking voters who voted for this asshole, to go up in importance, in popularity because he fucking launched some missiles badly. Come on, man. Nobody half worth a damn doesn't hit the goddamn runway. Doesn't make any sense. So anyways, he's gotten a little bit of taste after all the things that have gone wrong in the, 6 weeks, 8 weeks he's been president?
Yeah.
And so he's got a little bit of good press for launching missiles. Come on, you don't think that's made him just a little bit hard, and he wants to spread some more of that over to China, whatever, man. The fucking the Korean Kurtman.
Fuck.
Yeah, fuck. All I see is bad. And this guy is, it's funny because the conservatives kept saying, Obama wanting to take the guns and put everybody in fucking concentration camps and gonna start wars. I'm really seeing more of that with this fat fuck. God damn, this guy fucking scares the shit out of me. Every time I fucking turn around, it just, you wake up, you wake up, you look at the TV, and you're just waiting for the fucking bad news. It's like, or you get off of work, and, it's like, you're working all day, and it's like, okay, did we nuke anybody yet?
Yeah, it's really scary. Super
scary. Super duper scary. I don't even know what to fucking say. I mean, this guy's a fucking... I really think he's a sociopath. I really do. So, tensions are high, and then fucking Tillerson, he's the Secretary of State, right, Tillerson?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, this fucking guy, man, this guy ain't worth nothing. I don't, my God, this guy's, he's, Trump, I've got the best people, the best. And they can't even find the fucking light switches in the goddamn White House. Too embarrassed to ask where the fucking light switches are, so they sit and have meetings in the dark.
Fuck.
So, yeah, fuck. So anyways, Tillerson, there was a thing with the Russian ambassador or something Tillerson had a meeting with, and one of our reporters asked a question. This was on MSNBC. Rachel Maddow talked about it last week or earlier this week. I don't remember. Last week. Somebody asked a question, and the Russian ambassador said, "Who is this?" Where did you learn your manners? And other times when things like this have happened, the person there in charge has defended our reporters. This is our reporter. Freedom of the press is one of the first pillars of our society. And this fucking guy, he just put on his glasses and smiled. That's it. Fuck you, dickhead. Fuck you. So, anyway, so he told North Korea that they're done talking about North Korea. What the fuck does that even mean? You're done talking about North Korea? What are you talking about? You're done talking about North Korea? That's insane. Not only should we be talking about it, we should be talking about it 100 times more. And not only about, but to. You can't, don't get me wrong, this guy wants support and he wants to be talked about, but tensions are really high. And, with the battle groups sitting off the coast and, and these guys fucking prepping missiles and all kinds of shit, it doesn't take much to pop off something. It really doesn't. I mean, World War I started with an assassination. One.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't take much off. And, somebody shoots at somebody gets hurt, soldiers get killed. It's real easy to go. It's real easy to go. So, yeah, it's actually really fucking threatening. So, but what are you going to do, man? I mean, this guy, hopefully we can just try to resist him as much as we can and try to resist the policies until we can get some fucking sanity back.
Yeah. What do you think we should do about North Korea?
Oh, fuck. Well, it's so goddamn complicated. It really is.
Yeah.
The first off is that they're not even communist. Christopher Hitchens talked about it. They're a nectocracy. They worship a dead guy.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un's grandfather. So, and what was it? I saw something that was like Kim Jong-un at like 6 years old got 3 bullseyes from like 100 meters the first time he picked up a rifle. Like the last time he went golf, supposedly shot 18 holes in one. I mean...
He also doesn't shit, so...
I was wondering if that was true or not. So apparently he doesn't pee or poop.
Right,
So,
that's what they believe, yeah.
That's really fucking funny. So Kim Jong-un doesn't drop a deuce.
That's probably why he's so fucking fat.
That would make sense. All fucking hemmed up and bunched in. He's gonna poop green out his ears.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, the problem is that North Korea, I mean, it's a lot different than the Korean War that was fought in the 1950s. For one, South Korea is way more technologically advanced than North Korea is. Have you ever seen the Google Maps or at nighttime view of the Korean Peninsula?
Yeah.
Isn't that hysterical? Where you see North Korea all lit up with lights, and then there's like 3 lights in North Korea.
Yeah, it's crazy how they're even still functioning as a fucking country right now.
Oh, people, I mean, you hear things about people starving and that kind of stuff, so all the time. I've even heard stories that their military, well, for one, military is compulsory. You do not have a choice. Even for the United States, I don't think compulsory military is a good thing. I actually really like the idea of the volunteer military service, the professional volunteer service that we got. You get better people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but for a compulsory military, and I heard that, what was it, I saw on YouTube or something like that, somebody who crossed over, that you don't eat cow. You eat the cow when the cow falls over dead. That's when you get to eat beef.
Shit.
That would be some tough-ass beef.
I mean, they're starving to death anyway, and half of them are in fucking, like, concentration camps and are being
Yeah, for
forced.
re-education, quote unquote.
Yeah, they kill all their own people all the time.
What was it? I heard that something about a famine or something a few years ago that they think killed like 15 million people in fucking North Korea. I think, like I was saying about North Korea versus South Korea, is that Seoul is only like 60 miles or 60 kilometers or something like that. And there'd be a lot of people killed. I think the South Korean military, with the backup of the U.S. Army that's stationed there, I think that they could take over North Korea pretty quickly. But I'm a little bit worried about him having chemical, biological, or radiological weapons and then using them, because it really would be a use or lose situation. And then if that doesn't happen, I'm worried about if China would interfere like they did in the 1950s. So, I mean, we had North Korea beat. North Korea was basically beat, but then the Chinese came over, and, you know, you throw, I don't know how many divisions it was something like 30 divisions of infantry, and you've got no choice to pull back, and managed to stop back at the 38th or 39th parallel or something like that. And we're basically where the border is today. So that's really the problem, is that the propaganda has been going on for so long. I mean, you hear these people saying about that the South Koreans, if there's a war, will eat their children and rape their women and all kinds of shit. I mean, you know, so, I mean, are these people going to literally fight with sticks and knives like Hirohito was training the Japanese to do? I mean, you know, you had all these people jump off the cliff in Okinawa rather than surrender to the Americans. So you wonder if they would do the same thing in North Korea, that kind of stuff. Do you see what I'm saying, Erik?
Yeah.
But basically what I was wondering about is that the Japanese were jumping off the cliffs in Okinawa rather than surrendering. And you're wondering, you know, because you hear stories about like the North Koreans telling the people that the South Koreans will eat their babies and rape their women and shit like that. So you wonder if they're going to fight to the last man and or kill themselves rather than surrender, you know? Even if they don't use chemical, biological, or radiological weapons, it really will be use or lose. I really foresee South Korea or the Republic of Korea really, you know, militarily just taking out North Korea really fast. But it's that psychoticness of Kim Jong-un. Did you hear how he killed one of his generals recently? He put him on an airplane and shot it down with an anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah,
he was on a drone or something like that. That's insane.
It's fucked up.
Just shoot me in the head.
Yeah.
Strap me into a plane or on a plane and then shoot it down with an aircraft gun? Holy fuck, that's just batshit crazy.
Yeah.
That's somebody suffering from some serious psychosis there. God damn, psychopath. So, and then that's not if China decides, like what happened in Korea, the first war, because it's still an armistice. They actually have never had a truce. It's under truce, not peace. There's still technically a state of war between North and South Korea. So it would be a resumption of hostilities.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane, too?
It's all fucking crazy.
It really is. It's all fucking crazy. So that's the problems that come. And of course, you know, China is part of the UN Permanent Defense Council, Permanent Security Council. They're one of the 5 permanent members. So China, France, Russia, the United States, and England. Generally speaking, how it goes is U.S. and Russia on one side, China and the Soviet Union on the other, and then France usually sits in the middle. So They're the ones who are mediating a lot of that. But those are the 5 permanent Security Council members. Everybody else kind of comes and goes in and out. But like I said, you've got 2 of the 5 permanent members, and China is a first-rate country. They've got a modern military. Their Navy isn't quite as good, as the U.S. Navy. Their brown water Navy is, their shallow water Navy is good. They don't have much of a what we would call a blue water Navy. I'm not sure about how many aircraft carriers or whatever. I don't even know if they have any. But, they got destroyers and cruisers, that kind of stuff. Maybe 1 or 2. So, but still, how many million men do they have under arms in the People's Liberation Army, the PLA? That's the Chinese army. Millions of people, 3-4 million people, I don't know. But yeah, how many of those sit on the southern border? How many of them are mobilizing now? We don't know. Yeah. I don't. So it's entirely possible if Korea kicks off, and if China goes to the aid of North Korea, it literally could be the start of World War III. No bullshit. And then, did you hear about Cheetolini talking to the Chinese premier last week?
Maybe briefly.
So they're sitting in Mar-a-Lago that Trump owns, by the way, if you didn't know. So he's spending every weekend in his own fucking place. He's golfed more rounds than anybody else put together or come close to it.
I know.
Like, ever. He goes golfing every weekend.
And he said he wasn't going to take any breaks or vacations.
Just another lie by Cheetolini. God damn. So anyways, he was talking to somebody. He was like, I was having this lovely piece of cake, going on and on about this cake he was eating with the Chinese premier. And this is so funny if it wasn't fucking scary. But the news of the missiles comes off, and he hears about the news about the missiles, and he looks at the Chinese premier, and he's like, yeah, we just launched a bunch of missiles at Syria. The Chinese premier looks at him for a second, and then turns to his interpreter and said, did you just say that right? Because that's not something you say casually over fucking cake. Doesn't matter how good.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how good the fucking cake is. That's not something you say casually over cake. What an asshole. So, and then apparently at some point here in the future, right after that, the premier of China and Trump were talking about Syria, and after about 10 minutes of them talking to each other, it took the leader of China to tell Trump about what was going on with Syria and intricacies of what's going on with Syria. And he was like, oh, it was a lot more serious than I thought. He said that to the leader of China!
Holy shit. What the fuck?
Wow. He said that to the leader of China. He literally had the light bulb go on when the leader of China was talking to him. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like we're a lot more friendlier than what we used to be. But China's not really our friend.
Yeah. Neither is Russia.
No. And all this shit, I don't even know what's real and what's not with going on as far as, like, Russia and the fucking emails and whether or not fucking the Russians hacked or helped Trump win. I don't even know what's fucking real anymore. I really don't. It's all fucking baffling. All I know is it's all fucking scary, and this guy doesn't know his head from his asshole. He doesn't understand. So, there's my fucking Trump problem fucking going on for this week. Let's see if we're still here next week to talk about it.
Who knows?
God damn. So what are you thinking about, Erik? What's going on?
Well, I think we're missing a really important point. And that is, first off, we got Obama, the first black president.
Yeah.
And that was a milestone. But we're really missing the new milestone here, where we got our first orange president.
I saw a picture. It was, what was it? It was marshmallow, all kinds of marshmallows, to an Oreo, to a Cheeto. The U.S. presidents. It was.
Shit. Unfortunately, that's accurate.
I know, isn't it? Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize, but that was too good of a memory to pass off.
No, that's really great. But we should be celebrating that diversity. We've never had an orange president, and we probably never will again.
Bravo. Yes.
So he's representing orange people everywhere.
How many orange people are there?
Fucking one.
Constituency of himself. Oh, yeah. and his daughter he wants to bang.
Yeah. I guess he's representing pedophiles everywhere, too.
Yikes. Well, why go across town when you can go across the hall?
Oh, my God. I hope that's not actually what he's thinking, but it probably is.
Oh, it's just fucking funny. This would absolutely be the best time for all comedians everywhere, or anybody who just likes humor, if it wasn't so fucking frightening.
Yeah. And we thought Bush was bad.
Oh, I know. I mean, Bush couldn't fucking put a sentence together if it wasn't on a teleprompter to save his fucking life. But at least he wasn't a madman. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a religious idiot. I mean, this is the guy who directly said that he believed Jesus wanted everybody to be free, so that was part of his foreign policy. That's pretty close to a direct quote.
Oh my God.
I wish I was fucking joking.
I do too.
So, Bush was a cokehead and a drunk, but at least he wasn't insane.
Yeah. Well, speaking of politics, I live in North Carolina.
I'm sorry for you.
I know. It's one of the worst states, probably.
Yikes.
But, so, what's been in the news for the past, I don't know, year or something? Obviously, HB2, House Bill 2, the bathroom bill was a big deal. It's cost our state hundreds of millions of dollars, apparently, from all the businesses that have chosen, refused to come here and do business because of that bill. Yeah.
Didn't the NCAA say something about that, too? That they weren't going to hold March Madness championships in North Carolina or something because of that? I know that they said something about a couple of years ago when Pence was the governor of Indiana, that they weren't going to, NCAA wasn't going to, like the Final Four, Sweet 16 or whatever, something to do with the basketball championship. I don't follow basketball, but I know a lot of people who do. And the NCAA was like, we're not going to come to North Carolina. And it was like NASCAR wasn't going to come or something like that. So he backed off of that because he realized that a lot of people, that they weren't going to get a lot of money.
Yeah. They refused to come here, but it just happened recently since they technically repealed that part of the bill. That the NCAA says they're going to come back in 2020.
In 2020, so what, 3 more years from now?
Yeah, so
wow.
We're losing all that money, and we've already lost apparently $400 million or something crazy.
Wow. And that's not counting the tourist cash and the people who come in and have dinner and
Yeah.
you know buy rent hotel rooms and rent cars and that kind of shit. Pay
Yeah.
$5 for ice cream walking down the street.
Yep.
If you hear noises in the background, two of my cats are chasing each other.
Good to know your pussies are getting along.
Yeah, yeah, they get along so well.
If you hear noises, there's fucking lawnmowers still. I don't know
Oh,
how they mow the same patch of grass for 4 hours, but they do.
hey, they're on the clock. They're getting paid.
I guess.
Once you're on the clock and mow it once, you're good. Just keep going. Are you mowing? Yeah, we're still good. Come on, man. I'm an hourly guy myself. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I get it too, but
Milk that money.
yeah. Take a
Oh,
really long shit while you're at work.
at least 20 minutes. So, one of the things that I saw today, and one of the things that pissed me off, and I'm going to start calling my little stories here, I'm going to call this the Detective's Corner. Uh, you may or may not know, but on the podcast Opening Arguments, some months ago, I was one of the first persons that asked a question, and they used my question on air. Andrew Torres and Thomas Smith of that podcast. Thomas Smith, I guess, liked my name and started calling me Detective Matthew Maxon. And it's pretty funny because you know that I was in the military and I did military law enforcement, but I was never a detective. But I was kind of I was a military cop for a while. So, but anyways, one of the things that I'm, of course, passionate about that I've mentioned is the Detective's Corner that I'm going to talk about is some of these people who should have their badge and their gun taken away. Is some of these police officers, and one of the things I want to talk about, there was um, an article recently about, I think it might have been North Carolina, but somebody goes to have an arrest warrant put on them, and this might have been a working dog, and what I mean by that is like the guy was like a disabled veteran, and it was a helper dog. You know what I'm talking about? One of the dogs that sometimes people get for disabilities.
Yeah.
The cops going into the house shot the dog and killed her in the process of serving the warrant. And apparently the dog wasn't being aggressive, but he did start walking towards a police officer. I don't know if he was barking or whatever, I don't know, but they shot the dog. And so this is something that happens frequently, and I'm kind of glad that I don't have dogs just for this reason, so that something would happen, they would kill your dog.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Super fucked up. Now, I understand if the dog is aggressing towards you, but I'm one of these kind of people at the same time that, unless the dog charges you or something, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
um, but shoot a police dog coming through your door, and it's the same thing as killing a cop. You will be charged with murder.
Yeah.
So they can kill your dog, but if you're in your own home or whatever, and you accidentally run over a dog or you kill their dog or whatever, you're going to be charged with murder of a police officer. I don't know if it's murder one, it might be a lower count of murder, but still, it's fucking murder.
It's really
And
fucked up.
it's super fucked up. And it's one of these things that um, turnabout is not fair play. And when it comes to this, and I just don't think that it's equal, and I don't think it's right. And it's one of these things that police officers do all the time, and I just think it's super wrong. And I think that they're wrong for doing it. There's got to be a better way to maybe serve an arrest warrant and not kill the dog. I mean, you understand, like I said, if the dog is attacking, but just arbitrarily kill the dog because the dog might look at them or something. I don't know. I just don't agree with this at all. You know, I'm an animal lover, and so I don't want to see a dog needlessly get killed, but this is like, it almost seems like it's standard practice.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I just think that there's got to be something wrong with this whole thing. I think that cops are way too super sensitive nowadays. You see cops fly off the handle. I understand people are people, but man, you're a cop. You got to have thicker skin. You know the job is dangerous, and everybody wants to go home, and everybody wants to go home safe. But you know, these people are killing dogs for no reason. They're beating up unresisting people, and like I just said, for them killing a dog just for being in a house, I just think it's super wrong, and I think that they're wrong for doing so. So that's my bitch about cops for this episode, is killing dogs for no reason. I fucking hate it. Almost nothing makes me madder than the abuse of an animal. And the senseless murder of an animal is senseless.
Yeah.
Senseless is senseless. Gee, there's a fucking wordsmith for you. God damn it.
Hey, your words are still better than Trump's.
Senseless is senseless. I don't know. That might be the episode title.
Now, I saw a video the other day of like a guy holding his wallet up, and he got shot down because a police officer apparently thought it was a gun.
Oh, god damn.
And I don't know if he ended up dying or not. I didn't follow it, but it was really awful. He was just holding his wallet out, yelling, like, "Why'd you shoot me?"
You know, when I went through police training, military police training, we had shoot, no shoot scenarios that we had to go through, and we did this a lot. There was videos and stuff, and some of it's hard to know when to shoot and when not to shoot, and I'm pretty sure that they do the same thing with these guys. But you know, shooting somebody over a wallet, come on now. Shooting a dog when you're going into a thing, even if the dog is not aggressing, I just don't agree with this in the slightest. I'm really thinking that a lot of times police officers are just way too thin-skinned and way too hyperactive and got a really overdeveloped fucking trigger finger. And they fucking get away with it.
Yeah, that's another fucked up thing is this officer, he just got away by saying, "Oh, I thought the wallet was a gun." When there's video obviously showing the man being pulled over and getting his wallet and holding it up.
Yeah, every time I get pulled over, it's happened a few times when I've gotten pulled over for minor traffic offenses, usually for speeding or something like that. You know, I'll roll down all my windows, I'll take my car keys out and put them on the dashboard and put my hands on top of the steering wheel, and I look straight ahead. And so, you know, I don't want to give them even the slightest opinion, you know, even the slightest thing. And I don't look at them, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, until they tell me to look at them. And they're like, well, driver's license. I'm like, okay, I'm reaching into my wallet. Okay, I'm going into my back pocket, right pocket, getting my wallet out. I tell them every time I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
So, because I don't want to get fucking shot.
Yeah, and of course this man that got shot was black.
We could spend a whole episode or more talking about that. I mean, that's a whole fucking can of tomatoes.
Yeah.
Whole fucking can of tomatoes. So, yep. So what were you saying about this bathroom bill before we got sidetracked?
Oh, well, a couple of weeks ago, they, our new governor, who, Roy Cooper, I think is his name, he's a Democrat. He's a lot better than the one we had before, who was a total religious asshole, but
Wow.
yeah, he was something. But he repealed the bathroom bill, but not exactly. Like, they just kind of got rid of the bathroom policy, which was stating that you have to use the bathroom of the gender on your birth certificate. So that would
Okay.
put me using the women's restroom. First off, I don't know how you even check for that. That was a huge problem. Like, am I
Yeah,
going to care
exactly.
about my birth certificate? Are you going to look at my genitals? What are you going to do?
Exactly. I mean, are you gonna do what are you gonna do, a nut check? So for a guy walking into the bathroom, are you gonna grab everybody's balls to see if they actually have them?
Yeah.
Grab my balls and see what happens to you. I
It's a
double dog dare you, motherfucker.
it's the weirdest bill. But hiding behind that bathroom part is a a law saying that basically you can be discriminated against in the workplace or in other areas for your gender identity or your sexual orientation. So it's bad for anyone in the LGBT community, and it's crazy that no one's really talking about that part of it. And it also prevented like local ordinances from creating a law that helped protect LGBT people, because the reason HB2 came into play in the first place is Charlotte, the capital, not the capital, the biggest city in North Carolina. They created something to protect LGBT people in the workplace, saying, yes, you can use the bathroom you feel comfortable in. No, you can't be discriminated against for being LGBT. And this was particularly important for transgender people. And so, right after Charlotte did that, the governor said, oh, we don't like that you did that. So, that's not fair. That's not cool. Which makes no fucking sense. So they're like, we're going to create HB2 that says you have to use the bathroom of the gender on your birth certificate, and also no cities in North Carolina can create a law protecting LGBT people. So that
What
part
the fuck?
that part hasn't been repealed. And
So
apparently,
the cities of North Carolina cannot make a law protecting LGBT. Like Charlotte can't do that because North Carolina law says they can't.
right. So they had that law, they had a law saying that you couldn't discriminate against them, but then HB2 came along, said, no, that's illegal. We can't do that.
Is
And
that
this,
even constitutional?
fuck if I know. I don't
Andrew,
exist.
Andrew, Andrew Torres. Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't really fucking exist in North Carolina, so I guess it doesn't.
Holy fuck shit.
Yeah, but
Goddamn.
since the bathroom part got repealed, I guess businesses are coming back to North Carolina and shit, and I guess they're just worried about the money, not the equality.
Fuck yeah, it's always all about the money. You know,
Yeah.
though, I, I've heard this said, um, that, and I really kind of agree with this, and let me know what you think about this. The religious right in America lost the fight on gays. They did. It is done. Gay marriage is fucking legal in all 50 states, and um, that argument is done. Now, what I think that they're doing now is they're going after the next marginalized set of people, and that's transgender. Because, well, let's face it, even within the atheist community, even if you are an atheist, a gay person, a gay atheist, even fewer people are transgender. I don't even know what the percentage people of transgender people who are atheist are. I have zero idea. Um, but I'm pretty sure it's a pretty small number. Wouldn't you say that would be pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think it's like something like 1% of the general population. So
Holy shit.
if the number is carried over exactly, it would be about 1%. But I would say that there's higher than 1% of transgender atheists, because generally when someone has realized they're transgender, they've opened their mind up to a lot of different things. And I would say I know a lot of transgender atheists, for sure.
Well, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, but I'm just saying, no, but even as far as the atheist community goes, that, or that transgenders are still a very small minority, so they're going on the next people that they think they can pick on. So they lost a fight against gay marriage, so now they're trying to fight against the bathroom fight. And it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, because either way, a transgender person going to either bathroom is going to go into a stall.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And you're going to close the door. So they're going to think whether you're a man or a woman, whether you identify as a male or a female, that you're going in there to poop. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
You're going to be using a stall. It's not like you're going to have, to the best of my knowledge, somebody going up and using a urinal or whatever. I just don't think that that's a reasonable assumption. They're going to go use a stall. They're going to close the door, and they're going to do their business behind a closed door in the bathroom.
Well, okay, a few things about that.
Please, enlighten me.
Well, trans men, they have devices. They're called STP devices or stand-to-P devices. And they make some really realistic looking ones that look like penises.
Really?
So if you want to have one of those so you can use a urinal and feel like a guy, or whatever, you can do that. Or if it's just more it's more practical, more convenient a lot of the times, and you just feel like you fit in or whatever, and it makes people feel better about their bodies so they can stand and pee like a normal guy would.
That makes sense. Please, thank you for enlightening me, because I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't think that's the issue, unfortunately. I think the issue is definitely targeting... Well, it's not targeting anybody, because they're making these people up in their heads, but they think that men want to dress as women and go in the bathroom and prey on little children and be like pedophiles, which is not the case at all, because...
Has there ever been a transgender person committing a sexual assault of a child? I don't think that's ever happened.
They've never had a transgender bathroom incident recorded in anywhere in the United States. So it's fucking stupid that they're using that. And their main fucking argument is, a lot of these guys, they're like, well, if back in high school, if I had the choice to use the women's restroom or the men's, you can bet I would have gone in the women's so I could look at women. And I'm like, fuck no, you wouldn't have. You would not have done that.
And women are gonna go use a stall.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, their argument is transgender people are pedophiles and rapists, which is not the case whatsoever. They're just different, and they don't like that. They can't handle that people are different from them, from being a cisgender person, from being a heterosexual person. So...
And also, there's laws, generally in speaking terms, you know what I'm saying, about rape and sexual assault. There are already laws about that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you're not going to stop someone that's going to, rape someone by saying, hey, you can't go to this bathroom. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and, I'm married, but, if my wife went to go to the bathroom and she said that somebody touched her in the bathroom, checking for whatever, no, you touched my wife in the bathroom, we're going to have a problem. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, and I live in the South, and there's a bunch of religion, there's rednecks and Southern pride.
God damn it.
But And their reasoning is like, we want our daughters protected. They're like, we don't want a man in a dress to touch our daughters. And I'm like, no one's going in the bathroom to touch your daughters. Like,
I don't know, and I know everybody's different, but I think that people who are transitioning into a female, I think the chances are really low that they may or may not be attracted to women. I don't know. I mean, but also there's laws and stuff about that, about touching people in bathrooms already. I just think that I just don't think it would ever happen. It's just bullshit. It's scare tactics, and it's people are scared about nothing.
yeah.
So I
it's
hope
crazy.
that little rambling bullshit made sense there, because I'm not sure it did.
Well, first thing, I guess, gender identity is separate from, like, sexual orientation.
Absolutely.
So, like, you identify as a male, and I identify as a male.
Yes.
The only difference is you were assigned male at birth because you have a penis, and I was assigned female at birth because I have a vagina.
Okay.
So, then you identify as, like, a heterosexual because you're a man attracted to women.
Yes.
And I identify as a gay man because I feel like I am a man and I'm attracted to men.
Okay.
And then the same would be true for someone transitioning to be from assigned male at birth to be a female. Their gender identity is separate from if they like women or men or both or neither.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like education is probably key. I feel like we need to educate people on what being transgender is. It's not that weird. It's not abnormal. I mean, it's uncommon, and I understand that makes people uncomfortable, but no one's going in the bathroom to do anything weird. They're just trying to go pee, and it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating, man. Like, I don't ever fucking know which bathroom to use, because sometimes I go to, like, a fucking, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago I was out kayaking. I got done kayaking, had to go to the bathroom. I was in the middle of nowhere, went to this fucking creepy ass gas station. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know which bathroom to use. There's people looking at me, and, like, I wasn't wearing a binder because I was exercising, and binders hurt when you're exercising, so I was just, like, wearing a regular sports bra. So I obviously had tits, but I also have some facial hair, so it's really confusing. I'm like, I don't know which one people want me to use, so sometimes I'll just go to the women's restroom just so I don't, like, cause any ruckus or fucking shit. Because I'm just going in there to pee, and it's just frustrating that people are gonna judge me for that.
I think that's bullshit that you even had to go use the women's restroom because you don't identify as a woman, and you had to think about other people's backwards fucking stupid ideas on sexual identity and gender. God, that makes me mad.
Yeah, it's actually, it can be really scary too.
I'm sure.
It's so weird.
Sure.
And I'm not as, like typically what people think of when they think transgender, they're gonna think of a male to female transgender person, and that's who they're typically, like, afraid of or whatever. And I couldn't imagine being on that end because they're targeted all the time.
Yeah. I have a friend who is a male to female. She was sexually assaulted. And so right after she came out and was identifying publicly as a woman, she was sexually assaulted. And I learned about that. I was horrified for her. I couldn't even imagine going through being sexually assaulted. That's something that's horrifying. I wouldn't even want to think about that. Sorry, I rambled there for a little bit, but yeah, hope you understand where I'm coming from. It's your mind just kind of flips.
It's unfortunate the amount of transgender people that get assaulted. And I think it's something upwards of 35%, 40% of transgender people commit suicide.
Holy shit. What?
It's an outrageous number, like, and I think it's 12% of male to female colored women are murdered.
Wow.
12%.
That's insane.
So.
Holy fuck, that's an astronomical number.
Yeah.
12%? That's a huge number.
Of trans women of color are murdered every year.
Holy fuck. Well, honestly, that really kind of makes sense. I mean, because at work, I know a lot of Hispanics. And being in the military, I've run into a lot of people. And I know for, like in the Hispanic community, that especially the cis roles are really pretty well beat into people. And then, it's a big deal in the Hispanic community, at least as far as I'm aware of, to be called a homosexual. The Spanish word for is maricón, and what a horrible word to say to somebody. And for us, I don't see it as a deal to be gay. I don't care. It's in my worldview, it's not an insult. But like I know, like I said, some Spanish men, and who, when they finally came out, that it was a big deal, and his family disowned him because he came out as a gay Hispanic man. And so it was a big deal for him to come out to his family that he was a gay man. And so he was not happy for a while. And one of these things where you should only come out if and when you're safe to do so, of any kind of coming out, whether it's coming out as an atheist or coming out as gay, or coming out as trans, if that's what you are. Only come out when you're safe to do so, if you feel safe enough to do so. That's horrifying. 12%.
Yeah, I don't fucking think I could have come out when I was living back home.
Okay.
That would have been intense. Like, these kids that are coming out in their teenage years, to their parents, I couldn't imagine doing that. And so many of them are getting disowned and shit, and
kicked out, disowned, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my parents were already kicking me out, and I hadn't come out or any fucking shit.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
That's horrifying. It seriously is horrifying. So, god damn. Well, there's a happy fucking thing.
Yeah.
So what am I going to talk about now? I want to talk about babies' penises.
That sounds a bit like a pedophile.
Yeah. That's super creepy, but that's not exactly what I mean. I was having a conversation on Facebook a few days ago with actually somebody who I served with. And so I posted an anti-circumcision meme, and he kind of got upset with me. Of course, we're still good friends. I mean, I still call him brother. But, he got a little upset. And one of the things that when I was talking about, I've mentioned in the past that, that you lose function and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, yeah, I've never had a problem. I'm like, no, you've never realized you've had a problem. And one of the things I think that a lot of men who are circumcised don't realize is that they actually do have problems, that they actually do have a degradation of how their body functions, how they feel, and they don't realize that they've been traumatized. when the clamp is attached to the penis and it separates the skin from the meatus, from the head, and then the knife is it's the definition of rape. You are forcibly putting something into somebody's body. Now, that extra skin, that foreskin, is not detached from the meatus yet. It's still physically attached. Over the course of time, it unattaches and becomes loose. But when you're an infant, it's still kind of attached and around the head of the penis. So when they force that clamp on and force the skin over top of it, is the definition of medical rape. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And then the knife is passed over and cuts it, and they say, oh, well, he was a champ, he slept through it. No. He didn't sleep. He passed out. Huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference. That's not going to sleep. That's trauma. That is passing out from pain. And, having that knife attack your body like that, and especially something with thousands and thousands of nerve endings, in the United States, FGM is illegal. It is illegal to do FGM in the United States. And so people couldn't imagine cutting off parts of the labia. There's no difference between, as far as nerve endings and all that kind of stuff, between the labia and the foreskin. It's got the same exact nerve endings, and the only difference is that when the hormones got to the body at that point to determine what the sexual organs are, the vagina is inside and the penis goes outside. It's literally the same thing. One goes in, the other goes out. And that's just biology. You can look that the fuck up. Take a college biology class and they will tell you that. So, I had this conversation with my friend, and he was like, I've never had a problem. I'm like, no, you've never realized that you've had a problem. Big difference. And I'm like, just go look it up, read about it. I know he won't, because I was the same way for the longest time until somebody ridiculed my opinion long enough for me to go, okay, let me fucking take a look at this to see what's going on. And then I realized that I was medically raped as an infant and assaulted, and they cut off part of my penis. And you don't realize that you've got a problem until you do the research. So,
I think that's the way it is with a lot of shit.
Absolutely it is. You don't realize you've got a problem until you read up on it. You're like, holy fuck, that happened to me? My cats are doing some WWF right now. You might have heard them in the background.
Yeah, I can hear your pussy.
So yeah, I think you're right though, Erik. People just don't realize it.
Man, I can't wait to enlighten you on the vegan side of things.
Please do. Please do. I am all about knowledge and gaining knowledge, and I just hope that you accidentally take some of my stuff I say in ignorance, and I literally mean not knowing personally, or anybody else does. I mean, I don't know any. Like I've mentioned in the past, I've only known a transgender person. My first one I only met like 7 years ago. So, hell, I'd never thought I'd be friends with two. And, you're my good friend. But, there's still things I'm learning about it, and every day is a learning experience.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know what transgender was until a few years ago, and I think that's why it took me so long to figure out who I was. So, like, I'm still learning stuff every day, but I could definitely teach you some stuff about being a trans man.
Well, that would definitely be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. You ever wanted to talk to a man about his pussy?
There you go. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. We'll have
So
to go over it
there you
sometime.
go. Well, I think that we have a possibility of a guest for next episode. Still possibly working out some details and seeing how it goes, but I was on this person's podcast a few weeks ago, so hopefully it all works out, and then our next episode, we will have a guest, our first guest. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, should be pretty awesome.
All right, well, you got anything else that you want to talk about? I think that's pretty good for today, for this
Yeah, I
episode.
think we're good.
All right. So thank you everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact via email at oddatheistfriends@gmail.com or on our Facebook page. This is Matthew and Erik for Odd Atheist Friends. Have a great and godless day.